Okay, recap for Thursday, the 20th of August, 2026. Today's a Thursday with like orange folder, like not really that much news. And we have the consolidation of Doom. And I did expect it, and I waited. I was just so close to get the perfect one. I did get a couple of scalps here and there, but I was trying to time this run. However, I went on this one instead, and that was not the right one, and then we got it later. So yeah, that was like the only thing. Well, we're getting closer. Anyway, I'm gonna show all the levels that I have that were basically on three screens. I know like the chart is gonna be unlookable, but I need to just explain them real quick before taking some stuff. Right? It's gonna look like okay. Like I said, these are separated on three screens, so this is not how my chart looks like. But one thing that I would want to know, and that's what I've been noticing, how far could price go after it goes to discount, right? Discount of think of opening range gap, discount of a range, discount of what? And I notice it's always around, if you're looking at it from the upper side, 0.625, or the lower side, 0.375, before knowing if it's going to reverse, right? Like it could be from this is our main discount area, right? And it kind of tells you if we go over 0.625, it's more likely to close the range. If we go to more than 0.75, it's almost likely that we're going to close the range. So it's like genuinely grading uh, the levels and stuff. So now knowing that, let's just keep this is our opening range gap. So let's just keep the high and low and get rid of all the other 625, and that's it. And now for our range from 7 to 9, which was trending today, I just want to see why I marked this gap because it's the obvious one. I was holding price. I marked it before, marked it at like 9. This is the one that I expected. This is also another one that I expected to hold price. I was cleanly, and above I didn't really see anything that was interesting. So that's why these were here. And now let's just get rid of everything other than the midpoint and 0.625. Right? Just clean up the chart so you can get a look at something. Okay, I explained in my recap, which I did this morning. Let's clean this up. Okay. That I'm expecting us to go visit this low on the daily today, right? I said it while we were around midpoint or something. Like the daily candle was somewhere here, and I said this is our target for today, and overall, I would expect us to go to this volume imbalance and the weekly wick. You will see this midpoint right there. That is our weekly wick. What is it actually? Is it the weekly fair value gap midpoint? Double check it. Yeah, it's the weekly fair value gap midpoint. Well, I mean, the whole suspension block we calculated. So I'm expecting us to stop there eventually, right? If we get there. So I'm looking for lower prices. However, the morning session started trending all the way lower, right? This kind of made it this kind of made it hard to guess the buys, right? We do have relative equal highs. I didn't like how we left it like this, and essentially it looks like a market maker buy model. But nothing made sense for us to go higher because we closed below that midpoint of that daily wick and through it. So I was like, okay, we are probably gonna go lower, but I can give it the chance to go higher. Why? Because if we look at that low, look how we go into it. We take it. But I didn't like how we took it. I was like, this is just It's barely taking it, right? I felt like we can't really go up before we take it properly, right? Like a clean run through that low. So that's why I wasn't bullish or bearish. I was leaning more bearish, but I was like, this setup is just a garbage morning session type of setup. So I will wait, right? I was waiting all the way till 10:50 to look for my trade. I did take some couple of scalps here on paper. When I was watching that we were not closing above both 0.265, right? Not even a single body. We come make the first presented. Normally for these days, I'll wait for 940 regardless. 940 comes, 941 comes all the way up. I didn't like how this candle didn't treat this as an inversion fair value gap. We go all the way up. I mark the highest wick. We touched the midpoint, and specifically, we do touch that level, don't we? Step by tick. I was watching that midpoint. We go to the midpoint and start collapsing. Once we reach the midpoint of our first presented, I take a short. I do believe it took one off at this low and one off at this low. When we didn't close this candle below this gap, right? And then we start the consolidation I do. Can't remember what else I took. And then once we go all the way back to midpoint here at 10:47, I was like, surely, even though it's before the macro, surely this has to be the one. He's taking all this buy side, and I take the trade, and then I leave, right? I put it at break even, which was here. I leave to do something, and then unexpectedly, it just bang, it's break even, and then it starts the real dump. Same logic, the timing was just off, right? You could look at this gap, you could look at the first presented, whatever. Mainly where it went to is our rejection block right here, and we reject, and we just go lower. It's the same logic. We can't close above this, we can't close above our first presented or this gap, it seems like. Nope. And we basically went to the maximum point we could go. It's just an extra manipulation I did not expect. I thought this was enough. But regardless, we do that, and you can see because it was just a manipulation. One candle dump. I came back when this was dumping, so I just took the inversion right here. I seen this candle doesn't want to close above midpoint. And for this candle goes up, comes back down. And I'm like, okay, yes, we're not closing above midpoint, so it's an inversion fair value gap. Boom, take it, wait for it to come back because it was already like I'm at like I would not be surprised if it comes back for a discount again because I was correcting from this gap. And then this low was a negative 4.5 of the opening range gap. So it's not a bad day. I mean, it is a terrible day in terms of the consolidation, but it's not a bad day from execution wise on expectation. Even though we have 1, 2, 3, 4, but like we stacked by side, right? Like this is the way that I kind of trade. I kind of focus on these session liquidities and us not taking any um would it kind of flip me bullish. However, I use the knowledge or like the experience of us taking a low like this is just it's just unlikely we're gonna leave it like that. Coupled it with the fact that we're not closing above. The second if we closed above here, I would have taken this first presented fair value gap long, 100%. But because we weren't closing above, and all of this building buy side behavior, it was just obvious that he wants to dump low, right? And mainly my target or full objective that I want to see is at least the midpoint of this wick and maybe visiting this volume imbalance. And I do believe we might have reached the event horizon. There, we do, we do. So not too bad, right? Which means on Friday I do expect us to come one more lower, right? Just one more little run lower, get to here, and then do a TGIF of some sort. And let's say where was our daily highs over up there, so we have a lot of room to go up higher, even though this is a completely balanced price range at this rate. Um, it depends how far lower we could go. I can't really predict it, but for now, we can expect at least 20 to 30% of the range. Let's say we get to midpoint here. Let's just put 0.25 or just know roughly where that is. And can guess 20 to 30%. So we could be looking at taking these highs tomorrow if we stop anywhere in this vicinity, right? I don't expect us to have another full-on bearish day because look at this. We had how many black candles? We might just close it bullish, or even if we don't, we can close a black candle, but you know, it doesn't have to be this drastic. Anyway, I feel like that's the market recap. There's not much. These just look suspect for tomorrow, like real juicy. So I'll just highlight them from here as the target. And I guess put the levels on the daily again. This volume balance that I want to see how price reacts to. And our weekly midpoint of the suspension block. And that's really all I care about for tomorrow. So yeah, like I said, that's the market recap.